Good morning, everyone. Ahilya and Anna, I hope you're all very good.
Good morning, Professor.
Great. Okay, so let's just begin. What we're going to do today is I have just been able to see Nana's assignment, but I haven't been able to see yours, Ahilya. But essentially, what we're going to do today is we're just going to take the exercise a step forward from where we left, in the sense that we have been able to take our drawings to the point where they're now like cutouts. So they are, most of the drawings are like cutouts, are transformed to cutouts. And so today's session will help you to understand how to transform these cutouts into freestanding cutouts. So you, before I just keep talking about it, I'm just going to start sharing the images, and then we'll explain what I mean. Can you all see something on the screen?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, great. So essentially what we're going to do is today is we're going to understand how to compose freestanding cutouts, drawings in 3D space. And I'm just going to show you a couple of visuals and then going to talk about them. So what basically you can understand, and I just want you to, get a sense of the possible ways in which you can transform the drawing now into a composition that looks like a theater space, like it becomes like a 3D space. And the drawings become like, like those freestanding cutouts, and so it's a very theatrical kind of a transformation that will happen with your drawings now at this stage. I'm just showing you a couple of different versions of the same setup, because essentially the cutouts are made in a way that you can look at them from both the sides, from the front and from the back. And because they're arranged in space, like there's a possibility of different viewing from different angles. So basically, when you just keep moving all around in 3D space, you get different kinds of versions of the same composition. So essentially, I'm just showing you, and these are some with more additions, so the the number of drawings are more. And of course, the kind of drawings is also diverse, in the sense that drawings that are just plain cutouts, that are basically silhouettes, they look like shadows. And there are drawings that have been worked with charcoal, some have been worked with ink, and some have been worked with different kinds of materials together. So it's just the front and the back, and some are standing, some are looping, some are just dangling in space, some are there on the floor. So it's a composition of that has possibilities of viewing from different angles and different perspectives. So there's variations of materials, there's variations of scale, and there's an interplay. There's a kind of an interplay between the drawings now. So there's an interplay between the drawings, and also between the drawings and the space. And so as I was saying, so it becomes like a very theatrical kind of a transformation. So essentially, until now, our drawings were stuck mostly on the two-dimensional surface. So they were basically two-dimensional drawings, and here the drawings literally become three-dimensional, in the sense that they are more like flat sculptures, because you can look at them from front and back, as I'm saying. And you can sense also, I'm just giving you different views of the same composition. Okay, so essentially, I'm going to show you a video, and then I'm going to explain what we're going to do today, step by step. That I'm going to come back to it. Let us just see a very short video. So, in the meanwhile, I just want you all to think about, you know, how the composition has come about. Like, I just want you all to think about what kind of materials I've used and how I've used it. I've allowed the drawings to transform and make them into freestanding, and that also is a kind of a challenge, because making your drawings to stand in space becomes a little bit of a challenge. So I've used certain kinds of improvisation, but they are just like indicative. You can use your versions and your ideas to make them stand freely in space. So can you see this still, like a video still on the screen?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, great. I'm just going to play it. It's a very okay. So let me just come back to that the PPT version. Okay. Um, So essentially, I'm just going back to how I did it. Like, I'm just going to explain briefly the steps, like which are involved, essential steps which are involved, and there are a couple of intermediary steps. And also, there are so many other possibilities, but it's difficult to explain them in an online module. So I had to cut them down, and so we are a little bit restricted in the sense that in the studio space, I could have explained what all variations you can do with lighting, because there are a couple of things you can do with lightings, and there's a lot more playing around with scale which we could have done physically, because it's difficult to explain them in this format. But essentially, I'm just going to explain what we can do or what all is possible. So essentially in this assignment, what you see is basically a cutout, and it's edge to edge, mostly cutout, like a cutout which is like edge to edge, and it's almost freestanding. So and so what I have done is basically this is the front side of the image and this is the back side of the image. So basically I've worked on both the sides, and this has been possible because of also the quality of the paper was really good. Like, it was like a thick paper, a voluminous paper on which I could just work on the front and the back. And also the kind of image also, so it's not an image which is like um, in which is not like in a way that it is very difficult to make it stand freely, but it's an image which is possible. Like, it's a very vertical image, and it's an image that if you give it a certain base, it will be able to stand on its own. So yeah, that those kind of little things matter a little bit, like how. So what basically then what happens in the next stage is, once you do make a cutout drawing which has both the front and the back, the next challenge is of course to make it stand free. Like, how does it stand free in the space? And that is a little bit of a technical stuff. What basically I have done is I have used, as you can see, for the feet I've used pebbles on both the sides. So I've used like stones, and I've stuck them with something called as aradite. So it's like you can stick a lot of different kinds of materials together, glass or plastic or whatever. But essentially I needed to give it a heavy base so that it stands and holds. I mean, it's basic, like basic common sense. So I was also thinking about it conceptually, how these figures are like caught up, so that kind of an image, like they are stuck. So this worked very well for me, like using the pebbles, and also it's very easy to move them because it becomes like a wheel. So if you have something like a portable stuff, or you can also roll pieces of paper, make them heavy, or just tie like a piece of cloth so that it becomes heavy, and then you can stick it on both the sides so that it stands free. So any kind of those kind of improvisation has to be done. And we will come to the point where we will be discussing all the other kinds of options available and things like what you can work and whatever materials and with whatever restricted materials you have, how this can be made possible. So I'll come to that. But this is essentially just letting you know that the first stage is obviously a cutout, which has a front and a back. And the next stage is trying to make it stand free in the space so that it becomes like a 3D image, a flat 3D image. So this was the front side of that, and this is the back side of that. So I've worked on both the sides, and you can see I've used like pebbles on both the sides. And that gives it a very firm base. It's very motorable in that sense. And the third stage is, of course, like composing the figures, the cutouts in a 3D space so that they become like almost like, set design that becomes like a stage where things are being frozen. So but there's kind of a performance happening in a frozen way. So that's the idea that how do we now think about playing with our drawings and making them like, projections or making them interfere with the space and mingle with the space. And there is a kind of an intervention of different kinds of things coming together, and there's a playing out basically. And yes, the kind of forms that I've selected also have this kind of a character that they are, they're angular and they're like projecting, and there's a kind of a dynamics that's happening. So that makes it really interesting. So that kind of an idea so when you're selecting the images, the kind of images that you need to transform them, it's advisable that if you have a kind of a variation, some images that are simple and there are some that are quite caricaturish, so they have a kind of an angular character that can be, especially for the figure on the floor. Like if it didn't have these kind of, the hands and the feet and everything is going in different directions, if it didn't have that, then the shadow won't look that interesting. So that kind of a thing. And then of course it's like, it's like mixing and matching different things together. It's like the plain bland black silhouettes with the black and whites, and then having the color, and then arranging them in a different way in a 3D space allows you to look at them from different angles. And it's very interesting because it engages you from all the angles, from all the sides, and there's variations at every level. So that's the thing. So yeah, so that's the idea. And then of course the video makes it look really animated, and there's so much more possibility. You could transform it into a GIF, and you can do a lot of things because you can take multiple images of the same setup. Like, there's a possibility of taking at least 10 to 15 images of the same setup from different angles, and then you can just put them together in the form of a GIF or in the form of a video. So that's that. And then we'll come back. So yeah, that's what I had to share from my side, and then we go discuss. And so I'm going to so your opinions on what you saw, what you liked about it, what do you think will be the challenges, and how do you think you can do this, like, at your end, how do you think you can accomplish a composition of drawings in a three-dimensional space? So yeah, anyone who wants to go first? Naina, would you like to respond?
This is a hard task, to put mildly. I am essentially, because like my things are like A4 sheets, so they're very flimsy. So I'm going to have to see what I can do, and I'm kind of low-key hunting around my house for stiff things. So I, to be honest, have no clue how to go about it, except for like, I just have like, I don't even have pebbles. I can't seem to think of any heavy thing that will make it stand.
Oh, no worries. I have solutions for all of these. First problem is you do not have a firm sheet. So what you could do is you can stick multiple sheets together before you draw, a couple of A4s together.
Okay.
Yeah, did you get that?
Okay.
Or you can just,
Yeah.
You got it, right? Like if you stick like four of them and then draw on it and then cut, like in a sense, then it becomes stiff. So yeah, it increases a little bit of a task, but like we are not going to do too many of them. So even if you do like 3 or 4 of them, it's fine. Just basically you have to understand how the process happens. That's what. So if you do not have a firm sheet, you can just stick a couple of sheets together. That's one solution. Second thing is for the base, like to make sure that the figures stand. There are two options. If you cannot stand them like on a surface, you can also hang them from something. So if you have like if you have a hanger, or if you have something that can dangle, and then you can hang the figures like from the top, like through threads or something. That can be possible. So that like the space is not on the floor, but it's like in between. So that kind of an option is possible. It could be anything, like from a windowsill you can hang, from a hangers you can hang. So just use the kind of improvisations that you can in your own space where you were located. It could be like from the doorway if there's a possibility of hanging, or just nailing around and then hanging them on the wall, using a big nail, a long projected nail, so that there's space for movement, so that you can just allow them to hang. So yeah, it's a little bit of a notorious task that you have to think about a lot of things. There's a lot of movement and a lot of physicalities, but just for now, maybe for the next class, maybe we'll see how we can do. I mean, how much we are able to achieve. But essentially, the first task is to draw a freestanding figure, and that can have a front and a back. And then the composition and things come about. So it's not necessary that all of the figures have to be freestanding. It just one of them is like freestanding, so that gives a contrast, a central figure, and the rest could be like, you could use the wall as the support for the figures. So they could just take take the support of the wall, or take the support of anything. Like you can keep some toys at the back, like something like some support at the back, and the figure stands in the front, so the back view is not visible, but basically some kind of a view is visible. So yeah, those are the simple kinds of solutions, but of course you have to like figure them out in the space, and it's a little bit of a dynamic task. I'll hear from Ahilya and Oshika, and then we'll see how we move forward and what are the possibilities. Ahilya?
Yeah, so I think yours looks really interesting because you have some with those graffiti lines, or even like pencil lines, or yeah, you said you used ink. And then I don't know, at the back you have like that collage kind of effect on some of the backs of them, or just you made patterns and things. And then there's some just block cutouts, and that looks really interesting because then your eye goes to different places, and it's not like just very like streamlined like figures that look really similar. So it's like a lot of contrast and like drama, which is really fun. For me, I think, yeah, like I'll have to work on making the back and the front look interesting. Otherwise, when I do different angles, it's not going to look very eye-catching. So.
Yeah. So like for the back, if you think you cannot devote so much time to, essentially work on it, but like you can use any printed stuff also. So it could be a collage kind of a thing. Like you can just like, collect, if you have like, materials from magazines or any kind of cutouts and newspapers, those could also go. So essentially just like to give the viewer a kind of a, an added kind of an effect to make it more interesting, it looks like, and it becomes more, three-dimensional. So that's the intention. So if you do not, if you cannot dedicate so much time, anything is going to be a very time-taking task, or of course it takes a lot of time. You can go with the cutting and pasting kind of a stuff also. So that could be one of possible, shortcuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aishika.
Yeah, Professor. I thought like I had like pretty much both the concerns that Naina and Ahilya had. But for the first one, I thought like I would hang them up. Like so I'd put like a string through them and then I'd hang them up. And then photograph it that way. So maybe if they're like flimsy, that can add to like the effect, like because they won't be like still. I think the collage idea makes a lot of sense. And like because I was also concerned that I wouldn't have enough time because I'm quite slow to be able to like do like a front and back for everything and do them all justice.
Right.
So yeah, like a collage or like the one that you told Ahilya to do with like maybe newspapers or something else. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Also, the thing is that you don't need to work on the front and the back for all the figures, as you can see. I was just asking if you could do that for one figure, and the rest, because some of them are just black silhouettes. You can see like what we were doing in the previous session. Also, I was just telling you, you can It's a very simple, quick cutout. It just takes like about 5 minutes for the silhouettes. If you have the
Yeah.
drawing already, you can just put it on that, and you can just simply trace it, and the cutting doesn't take much of a time.
Right, that
So
makes sense. Right.
5 figures won't be all of them. Wouldn't You don't need to dedicate so much of an effort in all the 5 figures.
Right. Okay.
You need to dedicate all the effort in one central figure, and the rest could be very playful, and
Right.
they needn't all be freestanding. And
Right.
even if you are not able to work with even one freestanding figure that can stand on a base, you can have them all dangling. That's also okay. There's an intermingling, and
Yeah.
there's a kind of a movement, there's a kind of a flicker, and it's okay. It's just to make the drawing more active. It's just to activate the space, and there's kind of a different kind of a playfulness. It's a lot of more freedom for the drawings. So that's what we are achieving, and that's what we are targeting at.
Right, that makes sense. I think I can do that. Yeah.
So what we'll do today is I just want you to create just one freestanding figure, you know, that will have the front and the back both worked out, like in the sense that you will have drawings and on the front and the back, both the sides. Or you can you can have a collage at the back, and you can have a drawing at the front. So just one is what we are targeting at for the assignment. If we can do more, we'll see how much time we have and things like that. We'll work out. Okay. So let's just start. What I suggest is select one drawing which you think can stand freely, and that would be interesting to be worked as front and back. So that's first. That's the first stage that you have to do, selecting one image that you need to transform to a freestanding. Once you've selected that image, just if you do not have a firm sheet, just paste the sheets together. Like take a couple of sheets. If you cannot paste, also if you think pasting is also going to take a lot of time, you can also staple them. It's okay if the staple is visible, that's okay. But you can just staple them together, and you can just work on the front and the back. Does that make sense to all of you, Naina, Ahilya, and Oshika?
Yeah, Professor, that makes sense. Where should we find the image? Like, should it be like a particular kind of image?
I think you can take any of the images that you've already worked on. You can repeat an image.
Okay.
That's completely okay. Just select one freestanding image that you might have already worked on,
Okay.
so that you don't need to spend time on finding an image and working on them. Just
Right.
whatever you already have. And
Okay.
so yeah, I think let's just dedicate 30 minutes and see how much we are able to achieve in that. So essentially, I want you to just do one freestanding figure. Okay, does that seem possible for both of you, Naina, Ahilya, and Oshika, all of you?
I
Yeah.
have some paper that has like a watercolor print on it, so it's kind of like cheating. But can I use that then for the back?
Yeah, it's okay. Not
Okay.
yeah. Oshika, you were saying something?
No, Professor, I said I think it may like it works.
Okay, Naina?
Yeah, I think I should be able to do something.
Give it a try. Give it a try. Let's see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens. No worries. Okay. So I'll see you all in 30 minutes. You can let me know if there's an issue. You can just let me know in the chat box, or you can just, interrupt me whenever you feel like.
Professor?
It's already 30 minutes now. I just wanted to see what all is going on, like how's your progress and if it's all good.
Professor, would it be possible to have another 5-7 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Take your time. No worries. Naina or Ishika?
Professor, I've just finished drawing the figure. It took, I don't know, it was taking a while at the start, but like, so I've done that now, and I've decided I'm gonna draw like a face at the back, and then however it cuts out, like there'll be parts of the face that are there and parts of the face that are not there. So like that's my intention, I think.
That's okay, but is your problem solved, like of the paper not being very hard? Are you working on the paper only?
Yeah, I decided to work on watercolor paper instead of like the normal paper. So then I think that's slightly harder. But I'm still considering whether like I should like paste these two pages together.
Yeah, so you can see, but there's also one, there's one jugaad which came in my mind in the sense that usually we have those hard book covers, the back of those books, like
Yeah.
book or something. That also you can, you can stick your drawing onto that, and so then you can stick both your drawings onto that as a base, like in between, you can sandwich it.
Right.
Just
Okay, that
see,
makes sense.
just see whatever works for you. I think, you'll take a while. It's okay, 10-15 minutes or whatever. Just keep working on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anna?
I managed to find a little bit of ivory sheet. I had like this much ivory sheet, so I managed to squeeze that in. So it's standing now,
Oh, wow.
and I
You're working on the
like
back side of it. Okay,
yeah.
great. Super.
I can't draw it, so I'm just doing some designs on it. It's too
No
much effort
worries.
to draw right now.
It just has to be a very spontaneous stuff at the back, essentially. So it's okay. Just keep working. If you're done, you can start with the next because I'm waiting for Ahilya and Oishika. I think so. I'll give you 15 minutes and then I'll come back and see what happens.
I have to make the stand, no, that I haven't figured out yet.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है figure that out ठीक है How far did you all reach? I just wanted to have a glimpse of. Nana, did you manage to make them stand free?
Just managed. It is very jugadu, but
Oh wow, nice. What
Yeah.
have you used? Like,
a coin and a marble from our fishbowl.
nice. It looks really good. Can you turn it around? Like, just turn it around. Yeah, it's quite delicate, but it's quite nice. Looks very good. Yeah. Well done. Oishika, how are you progressing?
I'm drawing the backside, Professor, and then I cut off like the book thing that you said. So then after that, I'll cut it all together.
Okay, great. Ahilia?
Yeah, so I made 2 of these figures and I cut out this thing from the watercolor paper, but I realized I cut it on the wrong side, so I'm gonna have to do it again.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so you'll have to have like they're joined, like these two figures.
No, they're not joined.
Oh, okay.
One is the one I used for my assignment yesterday, and I just copied it. So.
Okay, no, I was saying, so what is going to be the front and the back?
So the back is going to be this blue paper, and the front is going to be one of these two, the one I just drew.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
how are you planning to make it stand?
I also have a lot of small pebbles. I have small pine cones, but I don't know if that's going to work. But I'm sure I'll be able to find something. I just want to cut the other side and then look for that. I'm sure I'll find something.
Yeah, looks good. Keep going.
Okay.
Professor, can I do this? So this is stuff that I already had in my Rubik's Cube. I just stuck them.
Yeah, yeah. So, Nena, you are arranging them on this base, on the floor, basically, floor as the base.
No, this is my table, which is a mess. I don't think I will be arranging them here.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, I will
because,
see. I'll have to clear things out if I have to arrange
yeah,
them.
yeah. So you already have now 3 of them, right?
If I can use this, then yes.
Yes, you can, no worries. So you basically have 3 of them. You can think about, if you do not want to work too much, you can just keep like, you can cut out, plain figures like using pastel sheets if you have black pastel sheets. So that'll quicken up the process. Yeah, those kind of stuff.
I already have like 2, but this is very flimsy. But yeah.
Yeah, this is very flimsy. I just think you can make a fresh one, like just one new figure. And then you can just basically you have to start composing. So just work
I
on.
kind of got a stool and I thought I will hang it on that.
Yeah, you can do that. No worries. You can just
And then place stuff down and have hanging stuff on top.
you can do that, but then you'll have to think about where you put these two. You just have to figure out because you'll be hanging the rest of them, right? These two.
Yeah.
Two of them.
I mean, there should be enough space. It's a relatively high
It's like
stool.
an
And these
overall
figures
space.
are
You can have something on the top. You
Yes.
can have something like on the floor and something dangling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You just need to draw or cut out one freestanding figure, and then you can start composing.
cut like one more. Wait, freestanding as in something that should stand again.
Like these cutouts, the pastel sheet ones that you were showing. One of them is very dangly, na? Not these ones. The other two.
Oh, achha, yeah.
Out of that, just make one fresh one so that it's firm, like it's not so flimsy, and then just go on to the composition phase.
But should that one stand? Because then I'll have to figure.
Not necessary. Just one of them is freestanding, so the others can just just place them wherever, however you want. I just thinking a stark contrast would be nicer. So if you just have one black, also that would be nicer.
I don't have black. I have dark purple.
Whatever, just like a darker shade, basically, just so that there's a contrast between.
Does this color work?
This will work. Yeah, looks good. Or if you have a black marker, you can work on it like very quickly.
I don't have a black marker.
Anything black, ink hai.
Paint hai. Oh, ink hai. I will use ink.
See, just make it like black. It looks like more visible. That's what. Okay, so just keep going. And yeah, let's come back after 20 minutes and then see how things are.
Professor, I think I'm done.
Oh, great. Let's have a look at that, Nana.
I'm on my phone because it's hard to go on my laptop and show this because I did this under my table.
Okay. So I can see two Nanas here logged in from. Oh,
Probably one is from my computer, which I have disconnected from, but okay. Oh, this is my face. Oh no. Okay. How do I switch? Why is it not switching? Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I don't remove the reflection of the light. There is no. Okay, right. Let me see. But like something like that, basically.
Oh wow, the other one is dangling like on its own with little bit of movement. There's a lot of oh no, nice. It looks really good. I like the black shadow one also. Yeah, that's really nice in the contrast. Very cool. Yeah, if you can just try and avoid that because it's a shiny surface at the back. That's the only problem. It's getting a lot
If
of.
there is no light, is it too dark?
It will be slightly dark if there's no. You can put the light in a different angle. Is that possible? I don't know. Or else, can you put a white sheet in the back at the back? Just a white sheet at the back.
Big white sheet.
If you can find a big enough white sheet, that will avoid all this. And also, it will give a a white or a black one, whichever you have.
Okay, I will try.
Because then these kind of shadows that are coming, that it will give a very nice contrast on the white. So it'll
If I can get a white
much
thing. I
more.
can get a black thing. I don't know if I can get a white thing.
Whatever, just try and see if you can do that. But otherwise, the composition looks really good. Like it's very interesting, and those hanging stuff is quite good.
I will try and.
Oh, I see. It's your stool that you've kept in that angle, in that.
No. This is my table.
Oh, this is your table. Okay. Great. So just that bit, if you can resolve, Naina, just a sheet or some cloth or anything at the back, white or black, just one flat surface. That will be quite nice.
Okay, I will go hunting now.
Paishika, um, did you manage to find a solution for that?
Yeah, Professor, I stuck it together. My cutouts aren't like I didn't stick it. I stapled them together, and if it starts coming off, like I'll go find glue. Like I know I have it somewhere, but I just can't like find it right now. My cutouts aren't perfect because like my hand kept shaking because there was like really thick 3 layers.
Yeah.
So like on some areas, like you can see that it's like overdone. So I'm wondering if I should keep it because like I don't mind the blue, but I was
But
wondering
that's
also like
okay. It's okay. I'm not that very particular about that. It's
okay,
okay. Because it's at least standing like,
yeah,
free
on its own, yeah.
yeah, on its own. It looks like a Superman or a Batman, that kind of an image.
All right,
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
that's pretty cool. I can go with that, yeah.
Yeah, it does
And
look like that to me because it's like in movement and especially
yeah,
because of the blues and not looks like it's wearing those long socks,
boots,
so that
yeah,
you know
yeah, and
posture.
like it's doing something with the hand, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
looks like that. Yeah, I
And
think
at
go
the,
ahead. Yeah, just the back.
I have a face, and I think I'll paint it in, like,
Yeah, just very quick painting, nothing in
okay,
particular, just brushwork and something like that, just something exciting. That's it.
okay, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just remind then. Yeah, so this is the front and this is the back. And then I just did a second drawing and I'm going to use that red paper as the back.
So red paper would be the back for this figure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, looks good. So
And I just wanted to just say, like, I made double of the same figures using the same colors, so I'm not using the same figures for last assignment. Like, I've drawn them again today. I
oh,
just wanted to say that, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Because they look really similar to the ones I've used.
Yeah,
I've just
they do.
copied them
I
as
wouldn't
well.
have been able to distinguish. I would have thought you are
Yeah.
reusing them. Okay,
Yeah.
great. I also think at the moment you can just keep it the same, but maybe you could just change the color or something just a little bit, just to
Okay.
so that you can use both the images also. with just a little bit of
Okay.
contrast. It'll be really interesting because if they're the same, then
Okay, I can like change that on top also now. Yeah,
just a
I'll do
little
that.
bit, yeah. Also, are they freestanding? Like Ahilia, I'm just curious. Will they stand on their own?
I think if I put something at the base, they'll be able to.
Should
Like,
be
yeah, if I put some.
something like
Yeah.
some any kind of toy or any motorable or portable stuff that will hold it.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Yeah.
find something.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, okay. Okay, keep working. I'm just hoping Nana will be quickly able to show us the entire setup.
I'm
Yes, Nana, you were saying something?
no, I was just saying you like hope Nana can show something. I said I'm trying.
Great. No, but that is quite quick. I mean, in the sense that you managed because obviously you're using some of the figures from the previous assignments, but nonetheless the setup looks really interesting. So I'm really happy with that. So let's just see the final look of it.
Professor, are we allowed to use figures from previous assignments?
Yeah, you may because
Okay.
because of the time constraint and all. I think you can, and also Ahilia, you can simply use a flat image like those like the black silhouettes that I've cut, the shadow kind of images also.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Professor, is this okay? How do I switch on the video? Okay. Yeah. It's still reflecting and there's nothing I can do about that. That's
Are
the
you
only
are
way.
you using the mobile lights as the light source? The mobile?
What is it?
No.
The lamp.
Lamp. Okay. Can you change the angle of the lighting?
I don't know what angle to put it at.
No, as in
No. I can't seem to figure out what angle works without a reflection.
no, in the sense that can you bring it a little closer? The lighting source. Now the shadows are all gone. It's looking too flat. हाँ. ये angle ठीक है. Oh, better. Somewhat better, because at least that yeah, that is what I was hoping, that in the composition that could you can just, the spotlight could go maybe in the corner or higher up, so that when you're taking an image or you're recording, that won't come
We move things closer.
no, that is
So there's like lesser. Stay. And then maybe like I can like get away with that small little thing here. Yeah. Oops. I don't know.
no worries. Just, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I was just hoping if we could.
Best I can do with the current stuff that I have. I don't have anything.
Yeah. I know. No worries. Okay, so it looks really good in the video. When you're making the video, and then you try and rotate like your camera from different angles, so that it looks like it's like it's going 360, like the whole journey is being recorded, and you can zoom.
You get a lot of junk though.
Hmm?
You're going to get a lot of junk under the table if I rotate.
Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, you'll have to clean up all the stuff. No, as in just try to navigate through. That was what my intention was, because when I had put up the entire setup, I was basically navigating so that the viewer can sort of feel like they're sort of walking with the camera. They're sort of meandering across. So if you have a camera stand, I don't know if you have a camera stand, maybe you could use that for more stable.
I'll figure something out. But the only thing is the reflection. I don't know what to do about that reflection there.
Maybe you can, for that, maybe you can have an image going, like a tree or something going, so that it covers up. Like you can have or a moon also. You can just cut it round and you can just place it there. With some
that will change with the movement of the camera. So I can't really like fix it. That's your perception that you're seeing. That's a reflection. It's not a fixed spot.
Oh, yes. Oh. It's basically caused by your mobile light, right? The camera light from your mobile.
It's caused by the fact that this thing is not fully transparent. It's slightly translucent. So the thing, it's still reflecting. Like the desk was shiny. Right?
Okay.
So,
okay. So never mind. Maybe later on after the class, maybe if you find something that is better. Otherwise, the setup is quite interesting. Like, this is quite workable. And just try documenting it. Just try documenting it in the form of a video as well as you can. Like, So my suggestion was that if you can just navigate slowly across, so that every image gets attention, and then you shift from one to the other, and so there is a kind of a 360-degree sort of a viewing of the entire setup. It basically becomes like a stage, and then you're giving the audience a full view. That's all.
I will try.
So just try that.
Because I can't fit under the table.
Yeah, that image is dangling so much. Oh my god. Maybe you'll have to have another thread going through
No,
that.
the fan is on. I'll switch the fan
Oh,
off.
okay. Hmm. Because of the wind. You have the fan switched on here in Delhi. My God, it's quite cold.
I'm wearing a sweater of my mom's, which was too warm, I guess, and I'm too lazy to change, so I just switched it.
Okay. Ahilya and Oishika, let me know whenever you feel like, you can, you are at the moment when you can try and set up the whole thing.
Yes. Okay, I will figure that out now. I'll see if I'll call my mom and ask her for stuff. Much time do we have? It's 11:10. Okay, I can pull it off.
Yeah, just try doing something. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Professor, I'm done with the figure. Like now I've figured out how to
Hmm.
this is the front that I've shown.
Hmm.
I've done this to the back. And now I'll just figure out like how to attach like something to it. Yeah.
You want to hang it, or you want to make it stand on a base?
I thought you said one had to be standing on a base, so this is the one I made with the intention of standing on the base, and the rest I'll hang like around.
Yeah, sounds good. So more or less you're clear like what has to be done, even if we are
Yeah.
not able to, because of the time crunch, we may not be able to see the final look of it.
Yeah.
Basically it's just a setup. Like just need to set it up in some place and just fix up the lighting and then
Yeah.
take a video of that.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think I should be able to do that.
Oshika, just in case if you can figure out how to make it stand, it'll be great. We still have
Okay.
like some time, so just
20 minutes, yeah.
work on
I'll
that.
figure that out, yeah. Let me do that right now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Ahelia, did you manage to make even one figure stand or something like? Did you make?
I haven't. I just cut out a lot of backs and other figures, but I'll just do that before class ends.
Okay, great.
Hello, Professor. I have tried something. It is not white. oh no, how to switch? Ah. Yeah, okay. I can't get rid of the legs of the table. But there's like black stuff on this side. And like the paper is shiny. I can't do much about that.
But this is much better. It's like much neater composition. Yeah, it looks like a more planned version of what you were trying to do. This is quite satisfactory. I think you just need to document it, and then that's it. I think quite good. I love this black reclining frontal image. It's really good. And the others are nice also, but this brings a contrast. Like, it looks like it does look like a scene from a circus. Those are acrobatic stunts happening, and there's a lot of movement. Very interesting.
I will record them and send you.
Yeah.
I don't have a full setup, but I just put one just to show you that, yeah, it is possible for me. So I'll just show you. Yeah, so this is just one figure. And I mean, it's standing, but yeah, I'm gonna like try and use less objects so it looks a little cleaner. And this, I just kept like the stone on my door stopper. And I like if I'm gonna try and see if I can do something with that. Yeah, and I
It's quite
found these,
interesting.
which
I
I'm
like
gonna,
it. It's
yeah, I thought this was kind of like fun.
yeah,
But
this is great fun.
yeah, and I found these little things. I'm gonna use these to like with paint on the back to make them look a little more colorful. So yeah, and that's what I did.
Just the backdrop, there might be.
Oh, that's just yeah, I'm gonna do a nice backdrop. That was just to show you just one or two figures.
That's quite interesting, Ahilya. I mean, I love these kind of improvisations. You may not set up the whole thing in one place. You may set it up in different spots and then put it all together in the form of a gift. That also is fine. I don't essentially, you can just do it in different ways. But essentially, when you're using those pebbles for the feet, especially for the female one, I think a smaller size stuff would be better because it's too overpowering,
Yeah.
So, and also there's something, I'm just letting you guys know, there's something called as Aradite. You will find it like online also. It's very cheap. It's available in most hardware shops.
Okay.
So that is a very good material for sticking anything. It sticks like different kinds of combination stuff like paper with cloth, paper with metals, paper with even stones. So it's a very high duty material fixator. So it's very good if you can just like later on, if you have the time, or if it's available, I don't know, you can you can procure that, you can get that, and you can use that also. So Oishika, I was just hoping. Oishika, you are on mute.
Sorry, I was saying I'm mid like figuring it out. I found an Amazon box. I was making holes in it because I have stones, but they're really big. So like this is, and I only have 2 of them anyway.
No,
so
no,
like,
no, you don't need to. I think you can just try fixing it on this.
Fixing it this, no, because I think I'll make another puncher and then it'll stand.
Some pins, or if you can just put a slit and then the feet can go.
Yeah, I'm using a cutter to put like a slit on it, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. That will be nicer. And if the box could have been black in color, like either painted.
So I paint it. Yeah, I paint it. I think I'll shorten it a little bit because it's quite tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then you can put up your setup like around it.
Yeah. Or even if it's hanging, I thought it'll look nice because it'll be like different like levels maybe. Yeah.
That sounds
okay.
Good. Okay, so we do not have much time. Let me just summarize this. So essentially, the entire assignment was to take you towards, as I said, towards a 3-dimensional understanding of composition, and to also to understand ideas about scale and perspective, and to think about the whole dynamics of movement of bodies in space. Essentially, if we would have had a regular session, this would have been a maquette for you, like just a model setup, and then we would have enlarged it, like we would have done really with plywoods and all. on a larger scale, so that it's like physical, so we could have stood there and we could have like experienced the whole thing. But that sort of a thing is not possible at the moment. But anyways, just for your own learning, I just wanted to know, at any time in your life, if you're if you happen to use this in some way or the other, this could be like a setup for yourself. So this is the way in which you can understand how drawings can become much more lively than that just being stuck on paper, like on a two-dimensional surface, and just being two-dimensional. Drawings do many things. They can play multiple roles, and they can be played upon. You can play with them in whichever way you like. And it's a very portable medium. You can just, it's very flexible, it's portable, it's very immediate, it's very expressive. So these are the qualities of drawing. We have one last session the next week, in which I will be also explaining how the kind of approaches you can take to um, for your digital presentation, which is going to happen on the 4th of December. So that's going to be the last class for us. That's going to be the last session, and that's going to be the end semester assessment also will happen. So that's that. So in the next session, try and just come up with all of this material that you have. Just keep it collected at one space, and so that we can think about how you can go about presenting your portfolio. So it's basically we're going to learn, and we're going to discuss, and we're going to think about the ways of doing that. I hope this assignment was fun, and just quick responses from all of you. How do you think that, did you enjoy? I hope you enjoyed this, and what was your experience, or if there's anything challenging, or there's something new that you've learned, or any quick responses. Naina is not here. Ahilya and Oshika, just two of you.
Yeah, I think I liked I liked painting a little bit, so like using like another medium to like bring something out. And I think I really like using the cutout in a way like that's like 3D, because like I think so far we were cutting out and we were still like portraying them in like 2D frames. So I think I really like putting it in 3D. That was really exciting, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Ahilya?
Oh, I had so much fun. And also, like when I was a kid, I loved those storybooks which had, like those pop-up like
Pop-up,
figures. Like, it was like so much fun. So it's a bit like that. It's just,
Yeah.
it's really fun. I really enjoyed it.
There's also another dimension which we have not been able to explore, like usually with lights also. So you could have done like projections from different angles, but for that you need really a high focus light, because then you can focus on a spot and you can create. All of that is not possible at the moment, but just in case, I'm also offering a course next semester, but I don't know if any of you are available on campus and you're still there, you could maybe look up to that, and we will be doing all of these kind of stuff. We'll be working mostly with lights and a lot of digital platforms, and it's going to be more like cinematographic, like it's going to be anamorphic kind of digital projections and all. We're going to do all of that. Okay, so yeah, thank you all of you, and I'll see you next week. And I hope just try and complete this assignment, and please update your visual journal, because we're coming to the close. And as I said, I just want you all to make the most of this course, and so that way. Okay, so I think let's just sign off. And
Wait, Professor, I just wanted to say one thing. I asked you for an extension last week for an assignment, so I've uploaded that yesterday as well.
I saw that. I've graded
Okay.
it and returned it back.
Okay.
Yeah. Nishika, were you saying something?
I was wondering how many visual journal entries should be.
So, Ishika, in total, we are going to have 11 sessions. I asked you to start making the entries from the 3rd. So, essentially, at least 8 entries in the visual journal.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Professor, one last thing. Have you I've been corresponding with the OA about the audit. Have you seen that mail? So I think it's a technical glitch, because they've said that it shows audit on their side, but it's obviously not showing on our LMS that it's an audit. So I CC'd you in the email, but I just wanted to confirm that in case if the technical glitch doesn't get fixed, the OA has approved the fact that it's an audit. So I just wanted to let you know.
I have seen all your mails, Oshika, but I haven't got a response from the OA.
Okay.
On the LMS, you are still being shown as a regular student. But either way, is I do not know how this will get resolved. But even if you are an audit student or you're a regular student, you're very much on track. There's no problem with your grading. Just to avoid any confusion, I don't know, like I'm like okay with it. I'm very flexible, and as I said, you're on very good track in terms of grading also, even if you happen to be a regular student. So for your audit, there is no tension. I'm just hoping that the OA should write to me, because it's not
Yeah.
reflected anywhere, and they haven't written or replied even to your mails, the mails that you have sent. So I
So
have.
Professor, they replied, but for whatever reason, they're not like replying to you as well. So like I'll forward them again to you. So like I CC'd you on it, but they did like they replied only to me, which is like really strange, I thought. So
Yeah.
I'll send you the emails that they sent to me as well. Just to like yeah.
No worries, but we are on a safe ground. No worries.
Okay.
I've understood your point of concern that they have replied to you, but they haven't replied to me. So that's
Yeah.
what the flaw is. But of course, to you, it is an audit course. So obviously, you are performing accordingly. So
Yeah.
then, of course, but no worries. There's going to be no problem with that. You
Okay.
will
All right.
be
So I just wanted to confirm. Yeah. All right. Great.
see you all. Bye. Take
Thank
care,
you. Thank
everyone.
you,
Bye.
Professor. See you.
Bye, Professor.
Bye, Elia. Bye.